Hey guys, welcome to the North Country earrings tutorial. My name is Alexandra and I am the owner and artist behind MIAKODA Leather. These are my earrings that I have designed and have been making for many years, and so I will be walking you through this tutorial so that you can learn to make your own. I hope that I am able to explain things easily to you, and that you are able to understand them, and that you have fun making these. They are a very detailed piece. They are going to take a long time. They take me a long time to make, but I promise if you just put your time in and learn the techniques, if you don't already know how to bead, the results will be well worth it, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. So just hang in there and just have fun. This first page is the login information, which you have if you already are watching this video. I am just going through this with you because it's such a detailed piece that I want to make sure that you know how to read the pattern before we get started. So the first thing you'll see here is, well, I have the 3 staples on the side instead of right here, which I normally do for bead kits, but I did that on purpose because once you get to the fringe, it's so detailed that you're going to want to look at the key frequently. So I recommend just keeping this open. It's just kind of a little tip from me to use so that you know you can glance over easily instead of flipping the pages back and forth to read your pattern. So like I mentioned, this is the key. So all of these beads are in your kit, and they all have a label on them. So you'll just be, it's pretty self-explanatory, but you'll be taking the beads in each bag with whatever label, and you'll be matching up to that color, and that's the one that you'll be using for that piece. So example would be this blue color right here is the main color for the sky. So I'm going to find that in my bag, and then I'll use that for every bead that I'm picking up here and here. So that's the key. The first step is going to be the ladder stitch, which we're going to be going over here in a second. And you're basically going to be starting from left to right. That's how I do it. It doesn't really matter, but I just go from left to right. And then the next step is going to be the brick stitch, which we're going to be going over. And then the end piece right here, ignore that white part. It's just a hole because it's an earring hook loop. So if you've never done beadwork before, you might have had a question about that. But yeah, we'll be going over that. And then for the fringe, so for this part up top, all this orange is they're tube beads. So all the gold tube beads, that's what those are. But I did not have enough room to put all of the tube beads, like the amount that it would be, which I was thinking like 5 spacing, but I don't want to confuse you guys. So what I did was up here, these numbers show how many rows and then how many beads on that row. So for these next 3 rows, which is what that 3 represents, is those 3 rows, we're going to have 3 gold tubes per row. So once you're done with those, you'll be doing for 4 rows, so you can see it 1 2 3 4, you'll have 4 gold tube beads on that row, and that'll give you that pattern. The next one, it's going to be 3 rows with 4 gold tubes. And before you do that though, you're going to be picking up your 5 black beads. So ignore the amount for the orange, but don't ignore the amount for the black. You're going to be picking up 5 black beads. The next row, what these 3 right here up top, those are for this top section. The bottom section is the bottom ones. So for this next one, these 3 rows right here, that's what that 3 represents. You're going to pick up 1 bead, 1 gold tube, and then you'll have 5 black beads per row, and then you're going to have 4 tube beads. And then for this second row, you're just going to do, or this second section, you're going to do 3 rows of 2 and then 5 and then 4. And then it's going to be 1, 5 and then 4, 4, 4, 3. So I hope that makes sense. Also, the purple represents porcupine quills, but ignore the bottom. You're not going to be picking up 2 different porcupine quills. These are just the 2 different sections. Once you cut your pine quills to length, this is the top section on top of the porcupine quill, and this is the bottom section. So I just wanted to make that clear for anyone that was confused. So this white part right here is just blank. And then these the bottom red right here, those are dentalium shells. So this pattern, I know it doesn't really look like the North Country earring, but it will turn out to look just like them. So have fun with it. Also, when it comes to the mountains and stuff like that, just have fun with it. You don't have to do the exact like blue beads right there. I just am giving you kind of something to refer to because you're just going to be making a mountain with the trees below it. So yeah, you guys have fun, and we are going to start the tutorial right now. All right, now that we got the pattern understood with how to read it, we're going to go ahead and thread our needle, and you're going to pull about an arm's length of string and cut it and just, thread it onto your needle. Grab your beeswax, and you're going to run your string across the beeswax. You'll see me doing it here. You kind of pinch it between your hand and the wax to get it nice and coated. I'll do it a couple times. And you always want to coat every string that you're going to be beading with for any projects. It just really helps with making the string not tangle and shred as much, and also it just makes it a little bit stronger. So beeswax is always your friend with beadwork. Now that we got that going, you're going to start step 1, which is the ladder stitch. And in order to do that, we're going to pick up our first row of beads, which is going to be 1 black, 3 white, and 1 black. You can see I did that here. And now I just, that'll probably happen to you guys too. If it doesn't, you are awesome. Sometimes I end up pulling it out, and I'll do it when I'm passing through on the next one sometimes too, but you just start over, it's fine. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your second row of beads and you're going to pick those up, which is 2 black, 1 white, and 2 black. And now you're going to just watch what I'm doing right here. You're going to be passing back up through that first row to make kind of a loop. Make sure you're holding that bottom strand so that it doesn't pull out. And then, you're going to come back down through that second row there. And that's going to secure your beads in place. And basically what you're going to be doing is that same technique over and over again. So now we're going to pick up the third row, which is going to be 2 black, 1 white, and 2 black. As you see, I did that here. And we're going to pass down through that second row. And then we're going to come up through the third row again. And you'll start to see, it'll look kind of awkward at first. It won't seem like it's getting tight, or it'll seem very awkward. But once you continue on, you'll start to see your pattern, and you'll see that it looks really nice. Make sure that your tension is good, that you're pulling the string to make sure that it's like fully, that it's fully tight. And you'll end up having a really nice ladder stitch. So you're just going to continue on like that, and then finish that whole pattern from left to right. And then I will meet you at the next step, and we will start on the brick stitch. All right, see you soon. All right, so now we got our ladder stitch complete, and it looks beautiful. Now the next thing we're going to do is I am actually showing you the last row. just so that you can see how I pick up from here. So you're going to be taking that last row, 1 black, 3 white, and 1 black, and you're going to pass back up through the one prior, and then you're going to go back down through that last one again. If you can hear the cute little squealing in the background, that is my daughter. She's here with me right now, and so yeah, you'll probably hear her in the background. She's so cute. Okay, so as you see, you're gonna pull through, and it's going to have the string hanging out on the opposite side of the string that you started with, and that's totally fine. What we're gonna be doing now is working on that brass row. So you're gonna pick up 2 brass beads, and look what I'm doing here. You see that the little rainbow? That's what I call it, the little rainbows. They're like those little white stitches. So you're going to go up through that second one, like you saw me doing there. Pull up to tighten it, and then you're going to go back down on the right side, and then come back up on the left side, the inside bead. And that is how you start each row of your brick stitch. So now I'm going to pick up 1 more bead, and I'm going to continue that line. So every time you have a new row, you're going to start by picking up the first 2 beads on the pattern. And you always want the beads to be picked up in the order of from the outside to the inside. So you're never going to, like, that's just the order you're going to go on. Whichever way you're reading your pattern, you always pick up the bead on the outside and then the second one in, and then that's how you start your brick stitch. And then every bead that you pick up after that throughout the whole row until you get to the end is going to be 1 bead. So 2 to start, and then 1 to keep going and finish through. So as you see, I just did the whole brass row, and now we're going to work on the white row. So if I confused you, you're going to watch me do it here again. So to start the second row, we're going to pick up 2 white beads. You probably hear all my dogs in the background too. So yeah, pick up 2 white beads, pass through that second little rainbow. Come back up through the inside bead. And then you're going to come back down through the outside bead. And then you're going to pull it snug and go up through that inside bead. And now you can begin just working your way 1 bead at a time to the end of that row. So you see how I'm just picking them up, passing under each little rainbow, and then coming back up again. It's as simple as that, you guys. That is a brick stitch. So that is your foundation for any brick stitch beadwork pattern that you're going to do. The only thing that makes them different is the color beads that you pick up. So just keep following along the pattern, and whatever color bead is next, that's the one that you pick up. Yeah, you guys, it's super simple. You might, get confused in some points, but just beadwork is patience. It's an art of patience and just persistence. Just keep pulling the beads back out and starting over. You have plenty of string. I give you guys each a spool of that string, and that's a lot of string. That should last you a good while. So don't be afraid to mess up and start over. All you have to do is just restitch them on again, and you are fine. If you mess up and you pick up a bead by accident, all you're going to have to do is, even like you see how I'm kind of passing back up and down on this next row, even if those ones are the ones that you made a mistake on, I always just take my needle and I kind of gently tug at the string in between those beads to kind of pull it out, and then I'll just remove that and pull it back out again. So that's all you'll need to do is you just take your needle, kind of tug at that string to loosen the stitch, and then just pull that bead off. All right, so really quick here, I'm just going to show you how to take your thread and switch to a new one. So as you can see, what you're going to do is you're going to go down through and then back up a few times from the bead that you left off. It's super simple. You can replay me doing this over and over again if you want to. So you're just going to pass up and down, and then just go and just kind of zigzag through your pattern. Just go up and down through those beads and just, really secure that string in there. And then once you pass through a few times and you feel like it's nice and secure, you'll just take a pair of scissors and clip it off. It's probably easier to just watch, like I said, than to listen to me explain it. So just replay it a few times if you need to. Sorry if you can hear my dogs and my baby too. So you'll hear her in the background. She's so cute. Yeah, my husband's out feeding the dogs right now while I'm recording this, so they're all super hyped up and excited. Candid moments in this video, but that's how we roll here. We don't want to pretend. This is just how we are. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our string, rethread it, grab the wax, and let me see if I can just fast forward this a little bit. Okay, so we just waxed our thread, and now we're just going to go back up through the bead next to the one that we want to be, where we left off. So just that one that's to the right of it, we're going to go up, and then, you're going to go up that bead, the one that you want to leave off on, and you're going to pinch the tail with your thumb so that it doesn't come through when you're weaving through. And you're basically just going to do the same process. You're just going to weave through a few rows and just get that thread really locked in there, and then you'll just come back up through that bead that you want to keep going on. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so basically you just see me kind of weaving around here, making sure that that thread is nice and secure. And when I tug on that thread, it's not going to go anywhere because it's just super locked in. So once it feels nice and secure, you just clip that thread, and then you just begin resume your project. Okay, so I feel bad. I completely forgot to film, for some weird reason, the earring hook loop. So basically, once you get to the end of the pattern, your triangle, you're going to when there's two left, like a row that just has two beads, you're going to just act like you're picking up a new row. But instead of only picking up 2 beads, you'll pick up 6, and then you'll just pass up and down a few times through those 2 rows, and that'll give you your loop. If you have any questions on that, you can always email me, or else just look up online how to do an earring hook loop. I'm super sorry. I'm sure that you'll be able to figure it out, though. It's super easy. But yeah, instead of picking up the 2 beads for a new row, you'll pick up 6 on that last row, and that'll give you your earring loop. And just make sure you're passing through a bunch of times to make a nice secure space for your ear hook. You don't want to just keep it one loop and then that's it. So pass through those loops a few times. And then once you do, you'll just go back down through your project, which is what you're seeing me do here. And then you're going to go to the first row of your ladder stitch, and that is where we will start our fringe. So just make your way down there. And yeah, you guys, now it's fringe time. So once you get your whole project ready for the fringe, you're going to take your porcupine quills and a piece of leather. I give you guys each a little piece of leather in your kit so that you can take your quills safely. Be super careful when you're working with the quills. I already put this on the label that's on the bag, but you just want to make sure that the quills are not going to endanger anybody, that they're in a safe place away from children and animals, and that you keep them away from any food that you're eating, and just basically be smart. Don't do anything that could hurt you or somebody else with them. Those barbs are not fun to pull out, and yeah, so no children around quills, no animals around quills. And what you're going to do is you're just going to take the quills, clip off I like to stick the black barbs, those are the stabby ones. I stick them in the deer skin like you saw me doing in this video, and you just clip them off once they're stuck to the leather so that the barbs don't like shoot out into some other part of the house. It just makes them stick onto that. And then you'll just cut your quills to whatever length you want. You'll just flip them over on the other side and make sure that they're all clipped the same length. Just whatever length you want to do them. I usually do them about an inch, inch and a half. It just depends on how I'm feeling. But yeah, mostly like an inch, inch to and a half should be fine. But you could use shorter or longer if you can. I don't know if the quills are longer than that in the kits, but yeah. So just clip them to whatever length, and then I will see you at the next step. Also, I forgot to mention, you're going to want to cut 29 per side. Each earring has 29 rows, so you'll want to do that many quills, as well as dentalium shells. Okay, so now we're going to be organizing our dentalium shells. So you're just going to take those out, and you're going to just choose whatever size you want to clip them to. This is just totally up to your discretion, just whatever you want to do. I always like to kind of fan mine out so that they're smaller on the ends, and then I choose the larger ones for the middle. It just looks really nice, I think. But just lay them all out and kind of just pick which ones you want to do. And I like to take some wire cutters, and I just kind of clip off the ends so that they are all to the length that you want. So you're going to once again do 29 of those for each side, and I will see you at the next step. Okay, so as you can see here, we're going to be starting our first row of fringe. So whatever way you want to read the pattern is completely fine, just as long as you're going from one end to the other. That's what I just find to be the easiest. And I like to, as I'm working, kind of move the rows off to the side as I'm doing the next row. So that's why I always do left to right, just so that the rows that are already done are getting out of my way. So what you're going to want to do is just look at your pattern and count how many beads per color you're going to need to pick up, and you're going to go from top to bottom. So as you can see here, I picked up my 3 gold tube beads, and then I picked up, let me just look at the next step. So it's 3 gold tube beads, and then you're going to do 3 black beads, 1 of the diamond cut beads, 3 blue beads, and then 1 gold bead, 1 maroon bead, 1 gold bead, and then you'll do the 3 blue, and then, I mean, you understand it from there. So basically you're just going to be picking those beads up and go all the way down until you get to the dentalium shell. I am going to meet you at the end where you get the dentalium shell so that you can see how to pass back up through. But first, you can watch me put this quill through. So you want to be careful when you're putting the quills through that you don't stab your hand. And just make sure that you are using your hand to gently guide the quill through the needle so you're not bending it or anything like that. And yeah, it's that easy, you guys. Just it takes a long time and some patience, but pick up those beads, and yeah, I'll see you at the end of this row. Okay, so I got my dentalium shell and I'm gonna go from top to bottom. The top is the skinny side, the bottom is the fat side. So I'm just gonna wiggle my needle through there and then pull it on just like you would a bead. But now what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick up a white bead and you're going to pass it back up through where you just came out. So that white bead is gonna act as a stopper so that the beads don't just come falling back out again. So you can watch me doing it here on this video. And when you're pulling, don't pull your dentalium shell like far away from the other beads. Like just kind of hold it in place. I don't know how to explain it. You don't want to be pulling your beads so that they're not close together, because the white bead can get locked in underneath that dentalium shell, and then it's just a pain to get your string tightened. So just kind of make sure that you're pressing down with your hand while you're pulling that string through. And then you're just going to keep passing back up through all those beads and quills all the way to the top. So you can kind of see me doing it here. So I'm just passing back up through the that pattern, that piece of fringe. And we're almost to the top. Woohoo! So yeah, I'm just going to go back up through right there. And then you're going to come up through the first, that first row again on the ladder stitch. And then once you do, just kind of make sure that you pull your fringe and make sure that it's all nice and snug. Not too tight, because then it'll look bad because it'll all get kind of bunched together. But just make sure that that row is nice and it has a good tension to it, so it flows good. And there's no gaps where you see string. Now you're going to pass back down through that second row of ladder stitch and you'll begin your second strand. So that is how you do the fringe for the earring. So now that you guys understood that, you're basically just going to be using all those techniques that I taught you. Once your string gets low, you'll do exactly what I taught you in the beginning of the video on how to switch out your strings. So just come back up to the, I like to come back up through the brick stitch. So when I notice that my string's getting low, instead of coming back down through another ladder stitch, I'll just bring it back up through to the brick stitch, the triangle piece, and I'll weave it through that way to get it nice and secure. And then I'll start it again right there and then put it down where I want to keep going from. So I hope that makes sense, and yeah, I will see you guys at the end of the project. I'm so proud of you. You made it this far. The triangles, I think, are the most time-consuming part, and then after that, the fringe. It seems it takes a long time, but it goes by pretty fast because you just see so much being done. So this is the fun part. So hang in there, guys, and yeah, I'll see you in a little bit here. Okay, you guys, so now we got our two beautiful finished pieces, and I just tied off my project, like the last fringe, just how I do normally when I'm switching out my strings. And all I'm going to do is take my earring hook, open up that little hole. You don't want to be pulling away from the loop and like opening it that way. You just want to kind of tug it to the side, if that makes sense. You see how I did that? So I'm not changing the shape of the loop, and then you just put it through your earring hook, and yeah, you're good to go. Then what you're going to be doing, this is all optional, but you're going to want to take a lighter and you're going to want to go through each of those exposed white like leftover pieces of string. Just be very careful you're not going to burn the rest, like the actual project, but just any loose frays, you're just going to go through with your lighter and really quickly just melt those off so that you can't see them anymore. Then the last trick that I do, and I don't have this as like a required material to needed, but I like to take clear nail polish and I will put a coat of that on the back side of the, oh, yeah, see, I'm showing it in the video. So I take a clear nail polish and I just brush it onto the back side of the earrings. And you don't even notice it when it dries. Just let it dry and it'll make your earrings stiff so that they don't roll and curl, because that's one of the most annoying parts about beadwork is, I think, when you have like a beautiful project that you just finished and it's like bunched up so you can't even see it. So that's my little secret, clear nail polish. I put it on the ladder stitch and then the triangle. Let it dry, and you guys, you just completed your first beautiful pair of North Country earrings. I'm so proud of you, and I hope that you had so much fun. Okay, you guys, have a great day, and God bless, and I hope to see you in another bead kit tutorial. Bye!